Hey, Coach, it was familiar territory there as that 13-point lead kind of evaporated on you, but you were able to get over the hump. So just your overall thoughts on how it played out and being able to finish one there on the road.
Yeah, I thought defensively, the last possession we did it, not the last possession, but the possession before, I thought we did a great job of actually even the one that Devo drew the offensive foul. We wanted to try to face guard. We wanted to try to blow up screens. We didn't do a very good job of fighting over screens, especially with Michi Johnson. We talked to this team about South Carolina having beaten Clemson, who's been a team for a lot of the year, and about them going into Lexington and winning there. So any road game is a good win. I think a few weeks ago, this game that we played, very similar tone. In LSU, we lose that game, and our younger players. I mean, we had Jordan Walsh and Anthony Black, two young guys in the game as freshmen, played a lot of minutes down the last 10 minutes of the game, and I think that those two guys in particular are growing. Obviously, Graham's points, 8 for 10 to lead us in scoring tonight was really crucial. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think we're 60-3 when we've held teams less than 70 points in the last 4 years. So that's a secret formula. So I thought defensively in the first half, we were phenomenal. And then for whatever reason in the second half, defensively, we got away from what we were doing. We got away from the scouting report, which is a great learning lesson. I mean, we started to go under screens, dribble handoffs by Michi Johnson, and he made us pay for it, going 5 of 8 from 3.
Bob?
Yeah, Eric, those last couple defensive your all's defensive possessions in particular, I thought Mackay forced Brown to a real tough shot when he got by Jordan, and then it looked like Diva did a real good job of denying Johnson. I know you switched him over, Ricky was saying. And then at the end, I mean, as good as Graham played, he's probably not the guy they want to take in a 3, but y'all denied all their shooters. Could you kind of go through those two defensive possessions and what y'all did well in those situations?
Yeah. So first of all, the one guy that we did want to catch the ball was number 33, Gray. That was the guy that from just catching the ball, that was our number one option. We did not want, under any circumstances, number 23, G.G. Jackson, or number 5, Michi Johnson, to catch the ball under any circumstances, face guard, double team, triple team, if they did get a catch in the backcourt. So really proud of executing that. And then I thought we did a great job on what we deemed coming into the game, their star player, G.G. Jackson. Number one, we did a great job limiting his field goals attempted, as he only got 8 attempts in 33 minutes. Kept him off the offensive glass, which I was a little bit worried about, because we assigned Devo Davis to G.G. Jackson in the first half. And then, as you mentioned, Bob, we made the switch late in the game to have Ricky slide over to G.G. Jackson and have Devo guard Michi Johnson, as we felt Devo would have a much better chance of getting over those dribble handoffs where he was stepping back, hitting threes.
And just how pleased were you with the way your guys executed? I mean, the guy you want to take the 3, you may take the 3, and he's obviously not a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, no, really, really proud of some of the defensive stuff that happened. I mean, obviously, when they went on that scoring run, right around the 4-minute mark, we need to play better defense. We gave up 2 easy threes, and when you give up 2 threes, that's 6 quick points in a game that, for the most part, we never led by more than 13. So 6 points is gonna shrink that lead in half very, very quickly, which is what happened. But look, it's hard to win on the road. Both teams were desperate for a win. We were desperate for a road win. South Carolina desperate for a home win, and it's continues to be a learning experience for much of our guys. And I do think we're playing much better basketball, having now won 4 games in a row in league play.
Yeah, I got a couple more, but if time allows, I'll turn it back to Mike. Thanks, Eric.
Hutch?
Yeah, Coach, you talk all the time about how Devo defends the other team's best player, and he always does it really well. but he's also been one of your top offensive threats the last, several games too. How difficult is it to do that, on both ends of the floor, night in, night out?
Well, his 3-point shooting, Hutch, is really what has become extremely valuable to us. And he's doing a great job of not shooting the threes off the bounce. For the most part, he's shooting them with his feet set. So really happy with the confidence level that he has shown. He's the only guy that made a three for us tonight. And then when people crowd him because he's got, really good ability to get downhill, I think that's going to open up some more dribble drive angles for him as well.
I don't think we saw Makai in the second half. Was that a coach's decision, or did he get banged up?
No, that was coach's decision. Yeah, for sure. Yep. So we went with Jordan the majority of the second half, and then we felt like we needed some points interior by Jalen Graham.
Scotty.
Eric, I think you guys went 2 of 12 from the floor down the stretch, but both of the buckets you got were go-ahead scores. Is that just, I guess, a case of you guys making your own breaks, like you've said, it needs to happen for you guys to win on the road?
Yeah, I thought Anthony did a good job getting downhill. Obviously, Anthony missed a free throw, and Devo, I think it was a front end of a 1-and-1 that we missed. So, but we did a good job getting to the line. That was something that we felt was important, was trying to draw a few more FTAs in the second half. We still, neither team, shot a lot of free throws attempted, and both teams took fairly good care of the basketball, with USC only having 10 turnovers to our 11. But a big part of the win the last two games has been our bench scoring tonight. 20-4 off the bench, and obviously those 20 points were Graham with 16, and then the 4 points that Jordan Walsh had. That, as you kind of look at the stat sheet, the paint points were pretty even. Points off turnovers, we were -6, but fast break points 8-8, second chance points -2, but the +16 in the bench points was, in my opinion, the difference in the game. And look, we led for 34 minutes on the road, so extremely happy with the way that we played for the majority of the game.
Speaking of Jalen, what led to his buckets? Was he just taking advantage of mismatches, or what did you see on his buckets today?
I mean, the bottom line, Scotty, is Jalen Graham can really score the ball. But we need him to defensive rebound. Defensive rebounding was a problem tonight. They had 13 offensive rebounds, and Jalen played 21 minutes and had 1 defensive rebound. His scoring is there, and then he's got to take better care of the basketball as teams kind of come down and dig, and people respect his offensive ability. But if you look at his turnovers per minute and his defensive rebounds per minute, we need those that's a big part of how we can get him on the floor a little bit more, because certainly from an offensive scoring standpoint, Jalen is a really special offensive player.
We'll have another quick turnaround for Kentucky. So a couple questions on Kentucky. Bob?
Well, Eric, yeah, you two back-to-back road games in 4 days. I don't know how often that happens, but how tough is that?
Well, we won this game, so it makes it a little bit easier to prepare, but obviously a very, very quick turnaround. Much of our preparation, will be Monday, which is also a travel day, but Tuesday's a late game. So we will take advantage of a late game to try to get some mini film sessions in during the day of the game. That'll be extremely important, as we lose a prep day, basically. And it's tough. I mean, we still got to travel back tonight. And then we got to travel on the day before the game. And that's, when you have back-to-back road games, this with this short turnaround, it eats up a little bit of prep time. But we'll start, tonight. As soon as I get on the plane, I'll start diving into Kentucky, and we'll start our preparation.
I know you probably dive into prep pretty quick, but is this like, you don't really get to enjoy this one much at all, do you? I
don't. I hope the players, enjoy the win tonight. Hopefully we'll get back safely, but certainly the preparation for Kentucky will begin immediately upon ending this press conference. We'll start looking at their CUME stats. Obviously, we've got to box out Tshiebwe. They have a great freshman in Wallace, who does a great job on both sides of the ball. One of the best defenders in the country. CJ Frederick's a guy that can really rope threes. He stretches the defense out. Wheeler for them at the point guard spot's got great speed, does an excellent job getting their team in their offense. And then Toppin is a guy that has a really good mid-range pull-up game. He's an excellent defender, excellent offensive rebounder, kind of flies in from the weak side on the offensive board. So a lot of things that we've got to get ready for in regards to Kentucky.
Then we heard you showed a road rage video to the guys. Was that from a movie or something from the highway department? Or could you enlighten us a little bit on the road rage you showed them?
Yeah, road rage was our game theme. Coming into tonight, we tried to do something to loosen the mood. I probably should have talked about it at halftime. I didn't, but I thought it helped us get off to a good start as we had a little bit of fun with it pregame, and I just kind of talked about what happens when you're in a traffic jam, and what you got to do. You got to go through, around, over, whatever. And anyway, we just tried to loosen the mood a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
Curtis?
Coach, you mentioned Shebue. I know you don't build your roster based on one player, but is a guy like that part of the reason why you loaded up in the front court in the offseason the way you did? And then what's the key, if there is one, to containing a guy like that?
Well, the biggest thing is he plays volleyball with offensive rebounds. He's so quick off his feet. He draws fouls around the rim. All those things, defensively, he's got good anticipation. He's a high steal player for his position. He blocks shots, at the defensive end. He's just tenacious, he's relentless on the glass. And so you've got to match that energy, which, tonight I thought Gray really hurt us with 14 rebounds and 7 offensive boards.
Scotty?
Yeah,
What?
Coach. Coach.
Scotty?
Yeah, what do you know about the Reeves kid from Kentucky? I'm looking at some numbers. It looks like he's a pretty good shooter, but anything else you might have to keep an eye on with him?
Yeah, Reeves is a great scorer. He's obviously a transfer out of the portal. Can really shoot the ball. You've got to ID him as he crosses half court. He's a really good transition 3-ball shooter. He and Frederick both stretch the defense out because of their ability to score the basketball. He can get really hot, streaky shooter. A guy that was a focal point offensively at his prior university and a go-to guy prior to coming to Kentucky. And now he's kind of evolved into a guy that they need points from as well. So obviously guarding Reeves will be extremely important as well.
I think you said you've been kind of encouraged by the bench production the last couple of games. Am I right? How encouraging is that at this point of the year?
I mean, I think, guys are still developing roles. That's kind of where our team has been. And certainly Graham coming off the bench tonight offensively. And I'm not sure how we will start going into the Kentucky game. We'll meet as a staff and discuss that.
Hutch?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned going on the bench. I mean, you've got guys like Graham. Pinion didn't play today, but he's had his moments. Kamani's had his moments. Is it a little bit unique in that you've got different guys that, depending on matchups, that they could step up and have a larger role?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've settled into a rotation of 7 right now, and then who that 8th guy becomes will kind of vary based on how the game unfolds and based how matchups are, and quite frankly based on practice habits and so on.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.